Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into the tactical anomalies, shocking upsets, and historic milestones of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're jumping right into the data because, honestly, the opening fixtures have handed us an absolute goldmine of statistical narratives, and we're kicking things off with a single number that really defines our entire focus today.
52. For 52 years, an entire nation waited just to hear their name called on the world's biggest stage. To put that into perspective, that is the fourth longest gap in tournament history, sitting right behind Wales, Egypt, and Norway. But here's the thing. When they finally arrived, they didn't just show up to make up the numbers. No, they went straight toe-to-toe with a footballing giant.
Section 1. Tournament Records Tumble, a World Cup defined by superstars. Now, before we really zoom in on that epic Group K opener, let's quickly establish the landscape of a tournament where global icons are already making history. Because, wow, the biggest names are absolutely dominating the early stages. Just look at this. In France's win over Senegal, Kylian Mbappe set a brand new all-time goal-scoring record for Les Bleus. Over in the Argentina camp, Lionel Messi put on a masterclass against Algeria, basically acting as a direct response to his rivals. We also saw Marko Arnautovic snap a massive 36-year winless drought for Austria at the finals. Oh, and Erling Haaland? He officially announced his arrival on the world stage with a huge victory for Norway. The superstars are definitely showing up. Section 2. David versus Goliath matchup, Portugal versus DR Congo. Okay, let's dive right into our matchday focus down in Houston. This was widely expected to be a routine win for tournament favorites Portugal. Under manager Roberto Martinez, who, remember, came into this tournament with an authoritative 7 victories in his previous 10 finals matches, they were supposed to just cruise. But instead, they were held to a surprising 1-1 draw by the incredibly resilient Leopards. Now, the stark contrast in ball retention here tells the story of the opening whistle. Roberto Martinez's squad established immediate, absolutely suffocating dominance with 75% possession, leaving DR Congo with a mere 25%. I mean, on paper, this looks like the setup for a one-sided thrashing, right? In fact, Portugal's ball movement was genuinely historic. They set a new World Cup record by completing 84 passes in just the opening 5 minutes and 32 seconds. And it gets crazier. By the time the ref blew the whistle for halftime, Portugal had racked up a staggering 490 completed passes, literally the highest volume ever recorded in a single half of World Cup football. But, and this is a big but, all of that efficiency was confined almost entirely to the middle third of the pitch.
So you've got to ask, what did Portugal actually do with all those passes? Well, very little. Despite that historic dominance on the ball, they registered a marginal expected goals, or XG, of just 0.7 during that first half. It's a massive failure to convert possession into actual chances. By the end of the match, DR Congo's incredibly disciplined low block and lethal attacking transitions actually yielded a higher probability of scoring, 0.82 to Portugal's 0.69. Portugal just completely lacked a cutting edge.
Section 3. Ronaldo rewrites the books. Longevity meets frustration. Let's shift gears to individual milestones because, well, you really can't talk about Portugal without talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. His presence in Houston continued to rewrite the FIFA World Cup record books, sure, but it also perfectly highlighted the tactical struggles we were just talking about.
Look, Ronaldo's longevity is simply unmatched. Stepping onto the pitch at 41 years and 132 days old, he became the oldest outfield player to ever start a match in tournament history. He's appearing in his record-tying 6th tournament, matching Lionel Messi. Plus, this 23rd all-time appearance ties legends Paolo Maldini and Miroslav Klose. Now he's trailing only Lothar Matthäus and, of course, Messi.
However, when we look at the analytics, the story takes a sharp turn. Ronaldo is completely marginalized by that Congolese defensive structure. He recorded just 25 touches over the entire 90 minutes. That is the joint lowest of any player who actually completed the full match. The technical data really highlighted his lack of clinical precision too, as he sent 2 first-time shots wide following cutbacks from Francisco Conceição. So, following this result, his goal drought in major international tournaments now extends to 10 consecutive matches.
And this perfectly sets up a direct contrast with our next character study, Yoane Wissa. It is such a fascinating juxtaposition. You have Ronaldo's sunset longevity on one hand and Wissa's prime career breakthrough on the other. While Ronaldo is hitting historic milestones but struggling for clinical impact, Wissa is at the absolute peak of his powers, delivering a truly monumental and historic performance for his country. Which brings us to Section 4, Wissa's historic breakthrough, the 55 million pound star. Remember, after João Neves gave Portugal an early lead with a clinical header in the 6th minute, the Leopards absolutely did not fold. Deep into first-half stoppage time, Yoane Wissa rose up and delivered a landmark header to equalize for DR Congo.
And Wissa is having the absolute year of his life right now. I mean, he arrived at this tournament fresh off a massive £55 million transfer to Newcastle United, which, by the way, is a club record fee for a forward. He left Brentford as their all-time leading Premier League scorer, and he even led the league in the 2024-2025 season with 19 non-penalty goals. And now, he just netted his nation's historic first-ever goal in a FIFA World Cup. His trajectory right now is just absolutely incredible.
Section 5. The Leopards' 52-year wait, erasing the ghosts of 1974. Now, this brilliantly illustrates what all of this means beyond just the pitch. Let's zoom out a bit to the broader cultural and historical context of DR Congo's return. Because you really have to understand, this 1-1 draw wasn't just a point on a group stage table. It was the exorcism of a 52-year-old ghost.
To really grasp this journey, we have to go back in time. Back in 1974, competing as Zaire, the team suffered some extremely heavy defeats. They conceded 14 goals without scoring a single one, unfortunately becoming the subject of international ridicule at the time. Fast forward to 2020, and you see players like Wissa committing to the national team. And now in 2026, they haven't just returned to the tournament, they've immediately distinguished themselves from their predecessors by going toe-to-toe with a European heavyweight and securing that historic goal.
For the fans, this long-awaited return brings the immense joy of Congolese culture straight to a global audience. This tournament is a massive showcase of their resilience. It's a celebration of traditional dishes like fufu, a historic staple that survived colonialism, and it highlights the elegant, globally influential rhythms of Congolese rumba. It's just a moment of immense national pride for the community.
As Congolese fan Offront Kabanzi noted right before kickoff, this moment matters so much because it takes their football and their culture to a World Cup level. After generations of waiting, the fans finally have a team that reflects their spirit and their strength on the pitch. As Kabanzi said, "I'm wishing all my Leopards best of luck. Allez les Leopards." That's not just a cheer, you know. It's a statement of arrival.
So, considering all the data we've unpacked in the explainer today, we are left with a fascinating tactical question. With Goliath struggling to convert a record-breaking 490 passes into high-probability chances, and David proving absolutely lethal on the counterattack, who truly holds the power in Group K? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next explainer.